Alright, so this is definitely not the update anyone saw coming. I mean, seriously, if you asked me, or probably anyone else, what we were expecting next, we'd all probably say something like a Shudu refresh. Or maybe even Nell Shudu finally showing up, especially after his regular version got moved down to Legendary tier. That really felt like the setup for something bigger, you know? But nope. Plot twist. The devs had something entirely different in mind, and I'm honestly really glad they did. Because just yesterday, out of absolutely nowhere, they dropped a surprise announcement. Barou is getting a full refresh. Now, real quick, for those of you who are newer to the game or might not know the difference, there's a small but important distinction between a rework and a refresh. A rework is like scrap the whole thing, delete the kit, build it from the ground up. But a refresh? That usually means they're adding new moves, replacing animations, maybe redoing the awakening visuals and just giving the whole thing a more polished and updated feel. But for simplicity's sake, and just out of habit, I'll probably say rework during the video, just so it doesn't sound overly technical. Alright? And before we dive into everything, thanks so much for being here. If you enjoy this kind of deep dive content, or if you just want to stay up to date with the latest leaks, updates, or patch reactions in Blue Lock Rivals, consider hitting that subscribe button. We're building a community here, and I'd love to have you along for the ride. Anyway, let's get into it. So let's rewind a little bit. Let's go back to the first time Barou got updated. If you remember, Barou was actually the first character to get a full rework under Miro's dev leadership. It was kind of the debut update for that whole wave of content, and yeah, it was definitely a bit of a mixed bag. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't want to sound like I'm just trashing their work. For a first rework, it wasn't terrible, but it also wasn't great. Like, the animations were kind of underwhelming. The sound design was really minimal. Some effects felt like they weren't even finished. Like you'd activate a move and expect some big impact and nothing. No dramatic sound, no flashy animation. Even the cutscene for his awakening felt like it was missing some flair. It just felt like something was off. And I get it, it was their first go at this, and that's a learning experience. But now that some time has passed and they've gotten better with animation quality and pacing, this new refresh is a real chance to give Barou the kind of love and attention he actually deserves. And based on what we've seen so far, it looks like that's exactly what they're doing. We're talking new cutscenes, new awakening visuals, better move clarity, and hopefully, new voice lines or effects that match the vibe of the king himself. Also, if you saw the footage that's been going around recently, yeah, most of that came from the official dev event tab in the Discord. So shout out to everyone who shared those clips. And yes, if in any of those clips the animations look frozen, or if the screen looks randomly blue or dim, it's not you. That's just another one of those awakening bugs. There's a current glitch going on where if a player activates awakening, the rest of the players get stuck on a frozen screen. And if you've been playing this week, you've probably seen it happen. It's frustrating, but hopefully they squash that in the same patch as the Barou refresh. So here's the thing. If you look at Barou's current kit, he's actually not that bad. He's got a decent dribble. He's got a pretty solid shot. His secondary move has its moments, and honestly, if you're just looking at stats and raw numbers, he holds up better than people think. But here's the problem, and it's a big one. His animations are just not good. And in a game like Blue Lock Rivals, where so much of the experience is tied to how the game looks and feels, that matters a lot. You can have the strongest numbers in the world, but if your awakening animation looks like it's from a different build of the game, or if it just doesn't land emotionally, people aren't going to want to play it. They'll feel like they're playing an outdated style. And that's where Barou is stuck right now. It's not the power, it's not the mechanics, it's the presentation. That's why this refresh is so important. I'm almost 100% certain we're going to get fully redesigned animations for each ability, a brand new awakening cutscene, and a complete overhaul of the camera angles and FX. That alone could be enough to make Barou feel fresh and exciting again. Now let's talk balance. Because let's be honest, just adding a new animation isn't going to fix everything. If we want Barou to compete with someone like Nell Bakura, who's arguably one of the best mythics right now, then the devs need to look at a few things. Here's what I'd personally love to see. 1. Buff his dribbling distance. Right now, it just feels a bit short. Not terrible, but you often fall just short of the spacing you need. If they increase the distance by even 10 to 20%, it would give him more offensive pressure. And actually, if they brought back his original dribble from when he first dropped, that version was insane. If I can find old footage, I'll show you what I mean. But even today, I still think that was the cleanest dribble in the game. 2. Improve his shot power and trajectory. It doesn't need to be broken, but it should feel at least close to Kunigami's shot or slightly below. Right now, compared to new styles like Aiku, it feels soft. It's not that the move is weak, it's just not explosive. 3. Fix his second ability. He's got 2 second abilities. The main one is Chop Feint, I think? Correct me if I'm wrong. This move is solid, but I'd reduce the cooldown and make the enemy stagger last longer after you land it. The off-ball version, Lion Steel, could use more clarity. Just make it feel more like Corona's Steel, clean and fast, but without the ball denial gimmick. Barou's whole thing is domination, not trickery. So I was reading through the suggestions tab in the official Discord, and I came across a few points that I thought were spot on. Let me read them out real quick. Fix the awakening camera. It looks stiff, especially at the start. Give the demons actual animations, and add a distortion effect when King is being held back. For King of the Jungle, boost the shot power speed by 20%, increase the usable range, improve cutscene quality, and shorten the animation. For Predation, let us trigger it near an enemy with the ball. Make the shot more precise and impactful. These are perfect. This is exactly what Barou needs to feel like a top-tier threat again. A presence. Not just a pick for fans of the character. And honestly, I think with these changes, Barou could finally stand toe-to-toe with the top of the Mythic class. And if they ever do drop a Nell Barou, that's gotta be world-class, no debate. He's a monster in the manga and one of the most iconic strikers. He deserves that title. Before we wrap up, big news on the ranked front. Ranked mode is coming, and it's not just some casual ladder. There's going to be banning, which totally changes how matches are played. You'll be able to ban 2 styles at the start. That means, yes, you can finally ban that Aiku player who always camps in the penalty box. Here's how it'll work according to the devs. Edge Case 1. If your current style gets banned, you'll get a chance to pick another from your active slots. Edge Case 2. If you only have one slot and it gets banned, you'll have to pick a style you've spun before, not just any style. And with that, we're also getting limited rewards. Think. Banners, cards, goal effects, emotes, and possibly even new exclusive skins like the Easter Kaiser skin we saw before. So yeah, huge patch coming. So yeah, all things considered, I'm hyped for this Barou refresh. Was it overdue? Definitely. But I'd rather have it late and done right than rushed and ignored. This is a big opportunity to bring Barou back into the spotlight. Now it's your turn. What do you want to see changed in Barou's kit? Do you think this refresh is enough to bring him back into the meta? And are you ready for ranked mode? Who's your first ban target gonna be? Drop your thoughts down in the comments. I'll be reading through them all. Thanks so much for watching. If you liked the video, leave a like. If you haven't already, hit that sub button, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.